Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Oh, well, what have we here? An aging president of the United States who has spent decades in the United States Congress crafting bills that will take away the freedom of black men and women because they had committed crimes. They had been convicted of crimes, with his son, Robert Hunter Biden, who has been convicted of crimes. He had said that he was going to let the law play out and that he wasn't going to pardon his son just because he's president of the United States. But once the jury brought in the verdict and convicted him of 3 felonies and several misdemeanors, what did Joe Biden do? Joe Biden pardoned his son. So he had to pardon his own son to keep him out of jail. What you call Joe Biden is a hypocrite. It is a bitter irony that a politician who has spent his life being what did he say? He was proud to have his name on every crime bill that had ever been passed, putting other people's children in jail, sometimes for things that they really didn't do or things they should not have had to serve time for. But then when it came time for his son to go to jail, he lied because he said he wasn't going to pardon him, and then he turned around and pardoned his son because he doesn't want his son to go to jail. And this from the Associated Press. Biden pardons his son Hunter despite previous pledges not to. President Joe Biden pardoned his son Hunter, sparing Hunter a possible prison sentence for federal felony gun and tax convictions and reversing his past promises not to use the extraordinary powers of the presidency for the benefit of his family. The Democratic president had previously said he would not pardon his son or commute his sentence after convictions in the 2 cases in Delaware and California. The move on Sunday night comes weeks before Hunter Biden was set to receive his punishment after his trial conviction in the gun case and guilty plea on tax charges. It was also less than 2 months before President-elect Donald Trump is set to return to the White House. So I guess he felt like I need to hurry up and do this before Donald Trump gets here and speeds up my son going to jail. And Donald Trump should be going to jail right along with him. Hunter Biden had been under federal investigation since 2020, and the Republicans have been screaming to the top of their lungs about him being guilty, but they haven't said anything about those 34 counts against Donald Trump. All of this points to the hypocrisy in our system. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are both hypocrites. They will make up laws. They will demonize other people's children. They will enforce laws to put other people's children away, lock other people's children up for misdemeanors. But when it comes down to them being convicted of felonies, they found a way to weasel their way out of it. This is hypocrisy, and this is corruption in the American system. Biden, who time and again pledged to Americans that he would restore norms and respect for the rule of law after Trump's first term in office, ultimately used his position to help his son break in his public pledge to Americans that he would do no such thing. So he did exactly what he said he would not do. He pardoned his son. And if we think hard enough, I think we can figure out why Joe Biden flipped and did what he said he wasn't going to do. He most likely thought that he was going to run for president again and win, and that he would have some time to create some scenario where his son would get out of trouble and not have to go to jail. But after he was pushed out, then that put him on the spot. And with Donald Trump coming in, just about anybody would have done what Joe Biden did. My biggest problem with Joe Biden, and I think a lot of people would agree, is the aggressiveness with which he went to put black people in jail, him and Hillary Clinton, not thinking that his son would end up committing crimes because tax evasion is considered a crime in the United States. But the trick was he wasn't expecting his son to get in trouble. And as the president of the United States, he could have had all kinds of strings pulled to get his son out of trouble. He could have been operating behind the scenes, which is what he probably expected to do. But then events took an unexpected turn, and he realized I've got to do something right away because I don't want my child's future to be in Donald Trump's hands. And Donald Trump would have come into office and used everything at his disposal to get him locked up. And that is why Joe Biden needs to reflect on the politician that he was before he became president and before his son committed crimes. In a statement released Sunday evening, Biden said, I believe in the justice system, but as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process and it led to a miscarriage of justice. Isn't that about the same thing Donald Trump would say? That's the same thing Donald Trump would say. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm totally innocent. Everybody said I was innocent. The judge is a Democrat and it's all the Democrats. They're just out to get me, but I'm totally innocent. President's sweeping pardon covers not just the gun and tax offenses against his son, but also any other offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. That's 10 years. So he's pardoned for anything he might have done in those 10 years. You gotta love it. You really gotta want a father as a president when you have a notion to commit crimes. In June, Biden categorically ruled out a pardon or commutation for his son, telling reporters as his son faced trial in the Delaware gun case, I abide by the jury decision. I will do that and I will not pardon him. I'm sure he meant that at the time when he said it, but crunch time came and he had to make a move. So he pardoned his son. President Joe Biden has publicly stood by his only living son as Hunter descended into serious drug addiction and threw his family life into turmoil before getting back on track in recent years. The president's political rivals have long used Hunter Biden's mistakes against his father. In one hearing, lawmakers displayed photos of the drug addled president's son half naked in a seedy hotel. And as awful as that might seem, Joe Biden would have been part of that, trying to bring somebody else down. So what goes around comes around. Republicans also tried to use Hunter Biden's years of questionable overseas business ventures in an attempt to impeach his father. So I don't believe he was over there doing that without his father's knowledge. So Joe Biden says that the charges in his cases came only after several of his political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack him and oppose his election. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's case can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he's my son. That might be true, but he singled people out with those crime bills because they were black or because they were non-white. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But he still comes across as a hypocrite because he said he was not going to pardon his son, and he did. And other people's children deserve a break too. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think about the video. Give me a thumbs up and have a good day.